Jai Sai Ram. We are here with none other than the tabla master himself, Anjaneya. Now, Anjaneya is one that is beloved in our center. His family is loved, his children are loved, and we can't wait, Anj, to include you in the 95 stories and to hear something about how you came to Swami, how Atlanta has been part of your journey. Please do share with us, brother, and welcome to the 95.
As you rightly said, Atlanta Sai Center has played the pivotal role in me getting to Swami. I was brought up in India, in Hyderabad, and that's where I used to study. I did hear about Swami there, and in fact, when I was preparing for my IIT entrance exams, every morning I used to drive past Shiva, which is Swami's temple or residence in Hyderabad. I used to drive past that twice a day, but the calling never happened. I was never really concerned about anything spiritual at that time. And then after I got into IIT, I went to Madras, and my next room neighbor, right, my room was 128, he was 129, was the brother of this great Veena player of Durjati, right? So his brother was my roommate or next room neighbor, and he used to go to visit Swami whenever Swami came to Madras in Sundaram, etc. But still the calling didn't happen, and it was right here in Atlanta that the calling finally happened. Once I came to Georgia Tech here for doing my master's in aerospace engineering, I used to attend these Indian student associations there, and one of their activities was to go for bhajans every 2 weeks or so, and those bhajans were informal bhajans held at a Sai devotee's home. So I had nothing better to do, so I started going to those bhajans. And then something very interesting happened. We probably went late to bhajans that day, and then the first bhajan I heard was Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, right? And according to one of the Upanishads, the definition of God is this line, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma is the definition of God. And that is the first thing I'm hearing, at the bhajans. And I was extremely happy and, oh wow, this is so amazing. But boom, the next bhajan happens. I don't remember which bhajan it was, but it had this random name Sai associating with the deities that I pray and adore and respect so much, like Sai Rama, Sai Krishna, and then Sai Shiva, whatnot, even to the extent of Sai Allah and others. I was very amused by it and also a little bit concerned by it. Why are they putting this Sai name? Who is this Sai? What is this? These other names are so powerful. Why are they attaching that? And so the person who gave me a ride to this bhajan, they actually saw my predicament and they understood. And they said that for now, why don't you do one thing? That word, that Sai is just a word, right? Why don't you substitute it with a word that actually, instead of the word Sai, you can use the word, any positive word, like a word like love or compassion or divinity, or just substitute that with a word which will inspire you. So I thought that's a great challenge, right? And so my challenge then was find the best optimal word that can replace this word Sai with the word that can actually give the maximum inspiration. So I kind of did that, and so a few days I enjoyed that challenge for a few bhajan sessions, and boom, what happens on one of the days is Swami came in a dream and he asked me to jot down a poem on him, and that poem was about how this word Sai is not just a random name not a random name. The word Sai itself has the powers to be for everything that is needed. So the first line was Sai Ram Nam Paramam Madhuram. It means that the word Sai Ram is supremely sweet, Madhuram. Sulabham, it's very easily available to chant. It's not a complex word like how some Sanskrit words are so complex. It's very simple. Anybody can easily say it. Sulabham Surasam, it's full of nectar, rasam. Ati Ramaniyam, it's extremely exquisite. Dharma Karakam, just by namasmarana of this name, your dharma or your inclination to do righteous things increases. Dharma Karakam, Artha Sadhakam. Artha, loosely translated, could mean prosperity or money, but it's really what it means is security, right? You gain lot of security and confidence in every realm of your being, whether it is the mundane living or whether it is any other emotional or psychological aspect. So that Artha Sadhakam is, this name gives you that, and it goes on like that, brother. So it's again Swami's grace that that poem happened. That he showed me how powerful Sai name is, and it's not just a word, right? So that's kind of how I got into Swami, and that's kind of how this is Atlanta being my home center that introduced Swami to me. I'm really indebted to this center and all of us, brothers and sisters, for being my doorway to Swami.
Jai Sai Ram. And when I say Jai Sai Ram, I dwell on the Sai a little bit more now, brother. Moving on, brother, from your beginnings and finding your way to Swami through Bhajans and through Atlanta's Sai Center and dreams that he's coming and giving you. Tell us a little bit more about any other experiences you've had with Swami. Was there any specific incident or anything that was that you will cherish as an individual of your interaction with Swami? Sayadaw.
There was a pilgrimage in 2007 that we both went to, and there was a music program that was offered, and it was a pretty simple music program, nothing bombastic. We created a medley of Swami's bhajans. So of course at the time and when we are going through it, and even now, it is musically rich in many ways, but it wasn't out of the ordinary, I would humbly submit. But the Swami's grace shows up at most unexpected ways, right? So what he did was that after the music program, even though it was not scheduled, he gave a talk. And in that talk, he talked so much about prema, love, etc. And he talked about many things, Soham also. And then at the end of the discourse, like Swami would characteristically do, he started singing a song. And guess who had the tabla and who had the harmonium? It's me and Saila. So here is Swami singing Hari Bhajana Vina, and here is me playing tabla and Saila playing harmonium. That was the most divine experience, brother. Absolutely, with his own grace, with Swami's grace, I've given many concerts and have accompanied some great masters. Of course, they are all extremely special and extremely beautiful. But if there was one thing that made me the most inspired about music, is when I was able to offer it during that time in that one bhajan, which even lasted probably for a minute or so, because he just went through one speed and then ended up with the fast thing. And so that was a very, very, very cherished experience for us. One of the most important things I would like to share is that Atlanta Center is the one that was my gateway to Swami. It's because all the devotees at the time and even now show his teachings in their conduct, his love in their conduct, his message in their conduct. And I think that's what makes Atlanta Center very special to me. And of course, I really thank everybody for making our center so special that Swami has recognized it in so many ways at so many times. So thank you, brother.